Charles John Huffam Dickens was born February of 1812 in Portsmouth, England. He would later be regarded as one of the greatest novelists of the Victorian era. By the time of his death in 1870, Dickens had written 15 novels and hundreds of short stories. Dickens was a self-made man and used his endless imaginative power to propel himself from a lower middle-class upbringing to one of England's most famous writers. Many of the ideas for his writing appear to have started when Charles' father was in prison for outstanding debts. This forced a young Charles Dickens to go to work at a shoe dye factory and live in a lodging house, separate from the rest of his family. Dickens' long hours of degradation and hard labor created a foundation for the rest of his career. Dickens noted the egregious treatment towards himself and other young men, and it opened his eyes to the corruption of the government and big business. His characters and narrative are infused with the glaring injustice of the ruling class over lower and middle class peoples. These experiences showed Dickens the social change that needed to take place in his era, and inspired much of his writings. You may remember him from your own schooling, as he has penned such classics as Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, or one of my personal favorites, Great Expectations. That book alone helped to fuel my desire to read as a young man, and I cannot be more grateful for that. Dickens accomplished so much in his lifetime that it would be difficult to highlight it all, but I believe that some of the best work he's left to us is his insight. Here, I will present the words of Dickens himself. Try your best to implement this thinking style in your life, whether big or small. The whole difference between construction and creation is exactly this, that a thing constructed can only be loved after it is constructed, but a thing created is loved before it exists. Nature gives to every time and season some beauties of its own, and from morning to night, as from the cradle to the grave, it is but a succession of changes so gentle and easy that we can scarcely mark their progress. Have a heart that never hardens, and a temper that never tires, and a touch that never hurts. I never could have done what I have done without the habits of punctuality, order, and diligence, without the determination to concentrate myself on one subject at a time. It is a fair, even-handed, noble adjustment of things, that while there is infection and disease and sorrow, there is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. Never close your lips to those whom you have already opened your heart. Reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some. My meaning simply is that whatever I have tried to do in my life, I have tried with all my heart to do it well. That whatever I have devoted myself to, I have devoted myself completely. That in great aims and in small, I have always been thoroughly in earnest. The legacy of Dickens will most certainly live on for many, many years into the future. His impact on my early education and my desire to read and write have been immeasurable. I hope you have a chance to read Dickens' work and savor his mastery of the written word.